Greetings to everyone in attendance at the 2022 International Council of Psychologists Annual Convention, and congratulations to ICP for its 80th year convening psychologists in support of human rights, dignity, and justice. My name is Amanda Clinton, and I am the Senior Director for the APA Office of International Affairs in Washington, D.C. I am honored to co-present with my colleague, Dr. Gulnora Bogdalova, a university professor and clinician in private practice in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Our work focuses on support for women's mental health in a patriarchal society, such as the one that Dr. Bogdalova will describe immediately after my introduction. In regards to our perspective on health and human rights, Dr. Bogdalova and I agree, as I am sure you do, that timely, acceptable, affordable, and quality healthcare are fundamental in terms of rights, and they are fundamental rights for every human being. That said, we are nearly 27 years post the Beijing Declaration, which specifically aimed to advance gender equity worldwide. And even 3 decades later, women continue to suffer the consequences of lower investment in their well-being. Indeed, they remain 2 times as likely to suffer from mental illness than men, with social inequity contributing to this disparity. This fact, which has been well documented by the World Bank and the World Health Organization, as well as many other large key global organizations across the world, led Dr. Bogdalova and I to think further about ways in which we can support the development of interventions that will help advance women's mental health, particularly in societies that have historically been dominated by men. Our current project investigates the impacts and outcomes of a cognitive behavioral approach to empowering women as one component of a broader mental health program within a patriarchal context. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, I'm Gulnara Bogdalova. Thank you very much, Amanda, for the great introduction. In addition to the university, I'm a psychologist in the self-defense classes for women and girls sponsored by an alumni outreach grant from the U.S. Embassy in Tashkent. It is a teamwork, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the support to all people mentioned on the slide: Elvia, Utkir, Anastasia, Donald, Amanda, Ekaterina, Gilani. The women and girls in this program gave me insight into the real-life problems facing women in patriarchal society. In the Uzbekistan culture, men who have the power and family and society routinely violate the woman and their rights, even where the law supports women. Discrimination and repression significantly impact the well-being and mental health of women. Woman very often is alone fighting the traditions. Her husband, parents, siblings, neighbors, police, and the courts are against her. More problematic are her own inner barriers. She has been trained to be subservient to men, to seek their approval, and therefore feels guilt and shame when she seeks to defend herself. So there are external and internal barriers to the realization of women's rights to equality, respect, dignity, autonomy, and mental health. The purpose of the Self-Defense for Women project is to build the confidence and skills that women and girls need to protect themselves and to maintain stress and overall well-being. Physical training program is complemented by mental health services to overcome past trauma, along with services provided by lawyer and social worker. We use a cognitive behavioral approach and mindfulness techniques to teach participants how to regulate intense emotions of anger, anxiety, guilt, etc., along with some group sessions aimed to overcome trauma using art therapy techniques. Individual sessions develop self-compassion as an antidote to self-criticism, as well as cognitive processing to make sense of past experience and find meaning in trauma to facilitate post-traumatic growth. The woman comes not only to deal with her own trauma, but also to avoid passing on abusive habits to her own children. Psychological treatment to overcome their trauma and other symptoms of oppression is important to prevent the transmission of abuse to the next generation. Thank you very much for joining us.